don't care what no woman say. Nobody wants to be an independent woman and take this world on by ourselves. I don't want to be at the door with a gun because somebody just broke in my house. I'm glad there's a man that's willing to go downstairs and handle that battle. I'm glad there's a man that want to go outside every day and work for this family in here that loves him. I'm glad that even when we're not thinking about the family as a whole, it's somebody that's thinking about that, man. Right. And I hate that black men don't get no acknowledgement for all that they had to withstand and still love us through it.
What's good, family? Hope all is well. This is Zachary King from the Future is Female podcast. I'm here with the beautiful
Monica Boudelaire.
Monica, please tell the listening audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I don't have a little bit about myself. It's a lot about myself.
We got time today.
I'm gonna try to keep it, a little main squeeze, but I am a host on 98.5 radio. I am an artist. I rap. I do a little country music, a little rock music. I am a teacher. I teach social and emotional development. I currently work with multiple organizations. One that most people may know is the National Love Team with the founder, OG Law. I am the communications and executive assistant for him. What else do I do? I do brand marketing. I make logos. I do graphic designs. I am one of the entrepreneurs in the Future is Females entrepreneur group. I do a plethora of things. I could be anybody's assistant for the day. I do really good assistant work. It don't matter if you're a lawyer, doctor, whatever. You tell me what you need and I got you.
Got you. How did you find yourself on that journey?
I grew up with not a lot of resources.
Okay.
I grew up with North Philadelphia, born and raised on the flicker. I grew up in North Philly. And I actually lived in every part of Philly. But I started the journey of just knowing that I just wanted to love people. One of my biggest things as a kid was just like loving people. I used to get in trouble for it. I done got hurt from it, all types of stuff. So when I grew up, my way of like entering into the world was like, listen, I'll love people, but I won't let people love me. Okay. So I never really trusted anybody to teach me anything. I learned everything myself. So I ended up in all of these different avenues of life because I had to learn something new here.
So how did those experiences shape you into what you do today?
Well, if I'm being honest, none of this is really for me. I don't do any of the things I do for me. I said to myself, because I didn't have the resources growing up, that when I had a kid, I'm going to build the parent that I want my kid to have.
To be the change you want to see.
Yes. Right. Most people have kids before they can really think about what type of parent I want to be. How do I want to come off to my kid? What type of things do I want them to be able to get from me? So as I was going on through my journey of life, I got my CNA license. I have my hair cosmetology license. I got all these different certifications because, all right, you may not know, how to clean me if something happened to me, but I can guide you, just in case. You may not know how to do your own hair. You may not like the way I do your hair, but I can teach you. Just giving you the ability to be able to do things yourself, but learning from the one person you really want to learn from. Okay. Is how I kind of, maneuvered.
Now, you say you had trust issues growing up. What led you down there? Like, what gave you the trust issues?
I believe the first people in this world that you are supposed to trust is your parents.
Right.
Because they're the ones that you have to depend on as a child. Right. And because my mom was addicted to drugs, my dad was addicted to women, drugs, and, pimping lifestyle. Right. They never really had no time for me. They didn't really establish any real trust with me. We gonna go to the ice cream store tomorrow. Ice cream store don't never come, and if it do, it's probably next month. You could have just had a conversation with me as a kid, because I don't know if something may have come up. I don't know that you may have spent all your money. Kids don't know. It's our responsibilities to teach them. So if all you saying is, we not going to the ice cream store and that's it, I don't want to see no tears. Black parents are really quick to discard their kids' emotions and real quick to accommodate themselves for the way they feel for not being able to do something. So,
No, that is a real thing, and I think that's another part of the hard conversations we need to have in our community. A lot of us grow up in the mindset of a child should be seen and not heard, and that had led to so many our women being molested. That have led to so many of our women being, or our boys being neglected. You know, so I so appreciate hearing that, because these are the things in which we need to talk about. I'm all about relationship talk. I want to be able to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, but I'm grateful that we could dive a little bit deeper.
For sure.
With that being said, have you forgiven your mother and your father?
I have definitely forgiven my parents.
Are they still here?
My mom just died. This is my first year actually without my mom.
Sorry to hear that.
And I'm glad I mended it. One thing that I will tell anybody, if you haven't lost your parent yet, and the people that have lost parents, you know this, nothing matters after they die. Anything you're harboring, anything you're holding, anything you sitting there mad about or whatever, when they die, it's like it never even happened. It's like, because they're no longer there for you to keep holding them accountable for the things you're doing wrong. Like, it's so easy for people to just not accept responsibility and take accountability for the things they do. Right. And I don't like to be the person to say it because I'm a woman, but I feel like I'm going to be the brave one to say it, that as women, we don't have to take accountability, and it messes us up everywhere across the board.
I agree.
Relationships, work, friendships, building daughter-to-daughter bonds.
Right, I
not
agree.
Taking accountability has ruined us. Look at our boys. You know what I'm saying? They're told they have to take accountability. That's a man thing.
Right.
But if I'm a single mother, at some point I gotta do something because I know my child's watching.
Right.
And if you don't take accountability, your son grow up thinking he has to accept anything from a woman that she brings.
Right.
And he gotta be responsible for whatever type of chaos it caused, because she doesn't have to say it was her fault. She don't have to say that she wasn't doing this. She don't have to say that she didn't support him when he lost his job. She don't have to say that, no, I wasn't the best parent to the kids either.
Right.
She just gets to be looked at as this person that never really does too much wrong, but then he always has to take the L.
Right.
And growing up with that mindset, when you're looking for a man, it's not cool. It's not okay for me to go out here and look to find a relationship and automatically go into it knowing that I'm always right.
Right.
You got men saying happy wife, happy life. You got women saying, girl, you better be happy. If you ain't happy, then it ain't.
No one is happy.
No one is happy, but that's not true.
I'll agree.
I don't want my husband coming home and he really mad about something and he really got some real feelings he want to get out, or he may not like something he's seen in the house, but he can't say anything because I'm going to yell so high that he eventually just wants to walk out.
Right.
I'm going to go so far to where I'm emotionally pulling at things I know trigger him.
Right.
So I don't have to stand 10 toes in it. Oh, the house a mess. I know I've been home all day and he asked me about that, but I can just blame the kid. Oh, I was taking care of kids all day while you was out. That's not okay. Because we both have a responsibility, and neither one of us can fall from our responsibility because one don't want to take accountability.
No, I definitely appreciate your perspective, because oftentimes in the Black community, you could get punched in your mouth for talking about somebody's mom. You could be like, yo, just say my mom, just let the words come out your mouth, and I'm putting you right on your back pockets. But we could dog out the father all day.
All day.
We could dog out your brother. We could dog out any man, no matter what he did, no matter the sacrifices he made, the mistakes. Even when he owned up to them and said, I made terrible mistakes. That could fly. But in the Black community, and because the Black woman has become the sacred cow in which we praise and worship, she been unfallible. And we must have that hard conversation. But to give you a little bit of pushback, because although I agree, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of pushback. What about the women who say, no, he did that. He was the man. He got me pregnant. It was his fault. You know, the reason why the house is the way it is. What do you say to that? So, because that's the pushback you're going to receive.
And I always receive pushback because my opinion is not the fan favorite. Because again, that accountability piece is real major. It take a brave woman to take accountability. I'm gonna tell you, it take a woman with courage.
Right.
Because at that point, you're not just speaking for you. You speaking for other women too.
Right.
And other women don't really like to be spoke for if that's not really their opinion, you know?
Right.
So that's one thing about the difference between us speaking and men speaking. Men can be seen as an individual, but when a woman speaks, she's speaking for all kind of type time.
Okay.
It just gets seen that way a lot of times. If a woman says something, it's almost like she said it for all women. Like we're like, you know, she's
but men
speaking
have
for
that same
all women.
problem though. I would have to disagree because if a man makes a mistake, and this has you have seen it, if a man makes a mistake, if a man cheat, he is the poster child for cheating as men. You know, if a man get caught, and this is not a stretch, but it happens. If a man get caught for being DL, all black men are considered to be gay now. So, and I think that's the responsibility about being black. I think that is one of the things that I feel like we as black people have gotten away from that. We have gotten away from the mindset that says we have to be 2-3 times stronger, run faster to even receive half as much because the world is not fair to us. When we do things, it represents the whole culture.
I think that they've put a delusion in our minds that that's real because as a plus size woman,
right?
As a plus size woman, I receive a lot of discrimination.
Okay,
I gotta be 10 times better than a skinny girl.
So you understand my point?
Yeah, but even outside of me being black, this is a discrimination that I have to deal with because people aren't comfortable with my weight. People not comfortable with the way I present myself. Some people think that is a diet problem that I have. Some people think that it's it's all these different things. Since I was a kid, I've been being punished for being thick. You know what I'm saying?
But the world is a little bit more forgiving for a plus size woman.
But it's now just like more people were more forgiving of a black man cheating now. Just like more people were forgiving of a baby mom or a woman that's sleeping with everybody, but she wants to go get an abortion. Just because people are more forgiving of it doesn't make it better. Because the discrimination shouldn't be happening because we're all people and we're all equal. Nobody is better than the next person. Your finances may be better, but if we left everybody out here naked and alone, the only thing that's going to matter is what you're capable of doing with what's left. And guess what? You ain't no billionaire here.
Right.
You a man out here with nothing. You're a woman out here with nothing but nakedness and having to learn how to survive.
So why do you think that it's so hard for black women to accept accountability?
I think that the way that they kind of raise us as black women, when we're taught to seek a man, we're not taught really what do we look for substance. We're only taught to look for a man for survival. So I'm taught to look at what he makes, what kind of car he drives, if he's capable of taking care of me, looking at his goals, I got to look at all the things that is a part of him, but not really him. These are add-ons, but the man is going to be the one I'm in a relationship with.
Right.
And if there aren't things like if I don't think about his sense of humor, I don't think about maybe the things that he's been through, between his family. I don't think about his relationship with his mother because I'm so busy thinking about, can he pay my bills?
Right.
Can he take care of what I got going on right now? So because we don't have to take accountability for being gold diggers, we don't have to take accountability for always looking at what you got and not really having to build myself up to be the woman that can be with a man who has millions. Why can't I go get my degree and just have something, even if the man take care of me my whole life? What if something happens to him? Then what am I? So because I don't think that we're taught about self, and we're taught to really look at self.
Right.
And I'm going to go ahead and speak on just like the outside of how I'm even taught to be a woman. I'm taught I can cover anything up. I don't have to accept if I'm not as beautiful as other girls. I don't have to accept my nappy hair. I don't have to accept if I'm big, I can go get me a surgery. I don't have to accept anything about myself.
Right.
I can cover anything up that I want. So ultimately, I believe that builds a mindset of someone that doesn't have to take accountability. You can buy your hair if it don't grow. You can fix your nose if it say so. You can buy all the makeup that Matt can make. But if you can't look inside you, and find out who you are, because that's what men discover when they get with you. Damn, you was pretty, but
right.
Oh, that's the way you talk to kids. We got kids together. No, this is the mom to my kids. It's so many things that men discover because we hide a lot as women. We share it amongst each other.
Right.
But
right,
we don't tell y'all. I was always told you don't tell a man nothing.
Right.
So me being molested is not cool to tell him, being as though he's the man that's gonna have to love me through all my different traumas I'm experiencing through life. But don't tell him. Just snap. Just act a little crazy from time to time. No, why would someone teach me that? So that's why I think that we don't have to accept accountability, because we don't even have to accept the person in the mirror.
Wow. What you said is really heavy.
It is.
What you said is really heavy, and I appreciate it. Like I'm almost in loss for words right now, because this is something that you typically don't get from a lot of black women. When we have these conversations, especially for being a black man, it becomes you hate your mother, you hate the color of your skin, you're sassy, and it's always dismissed. So to hear a woman say these things, and it's like, wow, it's appreciative. What made me think about this is Kevin Samuels. Are you familiar with Kevin Samuels?
I know who he is, but...
And a lot of people was upset with Kevin Samuels, and they used to always talk about his delivery. But I think it was his deliverance. I think it was word in the deliverance. I think that he was speaking on it. I think the problem with Kevin Samuels that he did is that he allowed the show to become personal. And I think when it became personal, people became defensive. So that's the reason why even on this platform, there's no one attacking you. There's let you get your point out, let you get your thing off, and let's attack the issue and not each other. And I think that is an overwhelming message that need to be conveyed to Black America as well. We need to be able to talk about and have real good conversation on things, but we don't need to tear each other down, because a lot of us are damaged. A lot of us been through some things as well. And I just appreciate your perspective in having and hearing that. What are some of the things in which men can do to lighten the load of the Black woman?
I think, to be honest, men have to be more honest. I feel like men aren't really allowed to tell Black women the truth, in a sense. Like, they're not allowed to tell their mom how they really feel about, Dave being here last week, and then Kareem being here the following week, and then Sean being here. Because if you're taught to go out here and find a woman that can cook and clean and be a nurturer to your children and love on them, and you don't even come from that, what exactly are you out here looking for?
Right, you're lost.
Your idea of it, a Huxtable. We don't realize that we really hold people to the standards of Instagram, movies, all the little stuff we see that make us feel a little feeling. We're holding those expectations to people that's living in real life. So I think that if men were a little bit more honest and don't really care about if a female going to cry about it, or if she's going to even, react about it, because I think it's important that we know the truth. I'm tired of being lied to because somebody's scared of my emotions or scared of how I'm going to react to things. And I feel like if we knew more, because we do care about what men think, it's easy for us to tag along even with homosexuality, because those Black men make us feel valued when we go get surgery. Those Black men make us feel valued when we shaking our behinds and wearing extra makeup. They make us feel valued.
Right.
But the Black men that we really want, that we're really looking for, they like a natural woman. I've done a little confessional with men before, because I used to have my own podcast, and they was like, I like my women natural. I hate the makeup.
We do.
I hate the lashes, man. They look like fly traps.
Right, they do.
I don't mind a little extra stomach.
We don't.
I was like, well,
I'm cool with a little fupa.
Then who told us?
Right.
Who told us that was the?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, that was my alarm.
No,
I should have checked the alarms.
It's all right.
Who told us that we had to be this perfect idea TV?
Right.
Our men didn't do that. Our men didn't tell us we had to be that. We believe in what everybody else think, except for the one person that's going to be with us. And that's what I think we need the truth. We need the truth.
I can say it's unfortunate, but a lot of the truth you get attacked for the truth. You get your business put out there on the social media for the truth. You get told all your insecurities, all your flaws when it's the truth, and it makes people want to go hide their head in the shell, because it's like, you know what, I can't do it. I mean, it's sort of like if you look at the Black pastors. I'm really hard on the church. I don't think that the church do a good job of representing their community. But a part of the reason why they have so much, they pride themselves on feel good sermons, is because if they was to talk something real, they would leave the membership would dwindle. It would disappear. If you remember a few months ago, TD Jake said something about the women in the church, and his congregation split in half. And 90% of the congregation is women. So it's like, so while I definitely agree with you that us men need to be more honest, I will also encourage that women, y'all need to learn how to accept honesty and learn how to accept things that you don't necessarily want to hear. A lot of men have become very good at telling women what they want to hear because that's the way to get what they want to get. I remember when I was in jail, it was my bunkie. He had 25 years to life, right? But he got out on the pill, so shout out to him. And he was a smooth talker. I mean, he had women coming up to that jail every week, and it showed me that the women overlook good quality substance and will be willing to involve themselves with a man like him. And it was like, and then when I would say that to women, they would, I'd be like, I seen it with my own eyes. I remember one time, even for me, when I was in there, this is like right around the holidays. So everybody around the holidays is trying to find someone, they're trying to get a girl or whatever. And I remember asking, I was like, yo, how come I can't? There's one brother in there. I only don't want to say his name because I think what he did was completely terrible. But the brother, he was having a bunch of women coming up to the jail. And I remember thinking like, yo, what is it about this dude? He's not that handsome. He's not that, that tall. And he's in here for the most horrendous crime you could possibly think of besides children. Why do women still find this guy attractive? And I had to realize that it was something that those women see the insecurity in him and they're able to relate and they find a sense of comfort. Like you said, it was the validation. But I do think that women need to get away from that and able to say, it's time that we get to a place of just getting straight truth and respecting that.
I think it's hard for women to see the protection in the good guys because our protection looks different in our community, even the way my brothers raised me up. My first boyfriend was a little nerd. His name was Brandon Suitors. And he wasn't even my boyfriend. He was just like a boy that really, 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 really liked me.
Right.
And our first date, he took me to Wendy's. He was so excited. He couldn't wait.
Right.
He's like, oh my gosh, we going on a date. So at the school, we downtown. I'm thinking like, oh, that's going to be so cool. Because at the time, I'm dating older men. And he take me to Wendy's. And I was like,
what the heck is Wendy's?
So instead of me realizing that, one, he was a computer geek. He was heavy into science and stuff.
Right.
This is temporarily where he's at. He's already showing us he know how to fix the iPhone and all of that. But because I'm taught I need a protector, one, Brandon couldn't protect me.
Right.
If I was getting beat up by a turtle.
Right.
He'll probably just scream and be like, oh, you got it. Oh,
right. Duck, baby.
That instantly took away some of my like for him.
Right.
And then the fact that he couldn't afford to take me nowhere but Wendy's.
Right.
And I'm a 16-year-old girl thinking about this, and this is all happening. So I'm like, Wendy's? I don't watch my mom go to all types of restaurants, bring us home steaks and shrimp.
Right.
And you all I get is a little double bacon cheeseburger and a fry. And he even was like, you can pick off the big menu.
Right.
And I'm like,
you want cheese on that?
So I sat there. I made the whole date about me. I was very mean, very just standoffish. I didn't want to be on a date anymore. I kind of ate half of the sandwich just to like prove a point. Like, you can't even afford my stomach, and Brandon now works for Apple, and Brandon is an amazing guy, and he got an amazing girlfriend. And when I see Brandon on Instagram, I always think about how I was the first girl that could have really been with Brandon. But that changed me, not seeing him, but being young. After I left that date, and I was with an older guy, and I realized, no, this date comes with, I need some vagina on the side.
Right.
This date comes with, and then I got to be dressed to the guys to impress you. Then I got to transform into somebody for you. But when I just went on a date with Brandon, I had to do nothing but bring myself.
None of that.
So
I make an argument. Do women really want nice men? Like, do they really want good guys? And I honestly, in my humble opinion, no.
I don't think so. And I'm about to share something big just because you got me this comfortable. So I decided to be with a woman just to kind of get an idea of like what men really go through, because I'm not one of those women who fortunate enough that had been through a lot of the cheating and disrespect and the hurt and pain. And so I was like, well, I just want to see. And I'm a polygamist, so I like having 2 women and a man in a relationship.
We got to have that conversation. You know?
Okay. So when I decided to be with her, I'm like, all right, if me and her build this great bond, it'll be much easier for a guy to come in on this great bond. So I took the place of a guy because at the time I had the finances to be able to provide that for someone. So I moved in, I furnished a crib, you know, I'm sitting here cooking, cleaning, because I can't stop being a woman.
Right.
So I'm cooking, cleaning, I'm getting the kids. I'm noticing it's real heavy for her to keep the kids up. So I'm like creating a schedule. I just thought that by me doing that, I was being the best thing that I could be, right? And then I realized,
welcome to masculinity.
You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to really interact with me. All your insecurities is coming out. I'm taking you along, all the stuff I'm doing, but you're still not happy. Okay. I could cook every day, but nothing can really make you happy. And I started crying for every woman that I know because I realized that the happiness really lies within us. But guess what she used to do? She go get her face beat all the time.
Right.
Go put her weave and she impresses the people outside the home.
Right.
So
but
it's okay. Huh?
But for you,
for me,
it was different.
The person that's taking care of the house, person that's loving on you. I was running baths, giving massages.
Welcome to masculinity.
Because she was my friend of 15 years. So when she asked me to be with me, I was like, yo, this is my opportunity because she been hurt so much by men. This is my opportunity to show you how to be loved.
And you will lose yourself in that process.
I lost myself. I lost everything.
Right.
I was disrespected. They played on my phone with my job. I lost my work. I lost everything. And then on top of that, there was no reasoning. There was no excuse. There was no accountability for everything my life is ruined. I got to start over. But you get to keep everything that I invested into you and move on.
And not only that, but your reputation is now tattered. They don't realize how much that is when somebody throws dirt on your name and how much that shit hurts. They don't recognize that. They'll just move on. Men who I have had women, I involved myself with women where it seemed like the more calm I was going to have a real transparent conversation. I'm not into hitting women. I think that shit is despicable of men to hit women. But don't tell women that because they will destroy your shit. They will make your life a living hell. It's like if you have a standard and you say, hey, look, I'm not into that. I don't think that is appropriate. They will do everything they can do to push that button to see if you're really real or not. And that's why this platform and other platforms, because there's other hard conversations, is so important because we got to be able to talk about that. Yeah, it's real. Like I said, I make the point that I said I don't think women necessarily understand the struggles of a man until it happens to their father, until it happens to their brother, until it happens to their son, and in your case, until it happened to you. And that's probably where a lot of it is coming from, because now you know what it's like to be in. A lot of times, us as men, we could set ourselves on fire. She be mad we ain't disappear. You know, it's like, baby, my whole arm's on fire for you. I'm trying to keep you warm, but you know I don't like to smoke.
But I kind of realized why nice guys finish last. Nope, I'm not even taught to be with a dude that'll just let me talk to him any type of way because, like I said, growing up with my brothers, they not taking that. They not, what you say? This, that, and the third. We are where we come from.
Right.
So a lot of things that make us comfortable is what we come from. So even me, my first real relationship, I had to change. I realized so many negative things about myself. And like you said, I watched my mom fight guys my whole life. I was ready. I went in there with Muhammad Ali. You think you gonna mess with me? I'm telling you, I'm gonna knock you out, G. I'm already ready. I'm already ready for you to do everything I saw growing up. My mom prepared me. If he do this, you do this. If he do this, you do this. I've been raised on how to take a man to child support, and I don't even have any kids.
Wow.
But I know how to do it real good. Wow. I know how to call them cops real good because that's what I saw growing up. My mom hit first every time, but when the cops get there, who hit him, Monica?
Right.
He hit my mom. So they even raise you to kind of be against the black man in a sense.
It is real.
You know, and I never realized it until I was really ready to love a black man. I realized that toxic energy, and I realized I had to change because I don't want my kids seeing this. I don't want my kids growing up thinking this is okay. I don't want my daughter to have to get her confidence from how many men like her. I want her to look in the mirror and be confident in the woman she is, see her worth, and know that any man that come in her life has to treat her to the worth she treats herself.
Right.
I feel like as Black women, we want men to lift us up. We want them to look at us as these goddesses. But I don't see a lot of women treating themselves as goddesses. Even the way that they treat each other.
Right.
After what just happened to me through a group of women that I've known from 15 years old, you could not have told me that it would happen to me. But the thing about it is, that's the stuff that we really need to talk about. Like you said, those uncomfortable conversations of you being the one that made it and everybody else get to ride your back on everything that you've done, or you're the inspiration for the whole group and you don't even know. Right. But the moment that you're doing a little bit better than what they thought you should be doing, and they do that attack on you, and they start telling everybody about your business and attacking you through conversation, because they don't do it to your face. They do it behind conversation, and then everything resurrects. And it's like, how did all of this happen? They've been talking about you all along. They already been hating all along. Instead of just saying, sis, I don't know how to do none of this, and I'm really at a loss. Can you help me? Right. Because that's a problem that we have as Black women too, asking for help. And we'd rather sit around and watch you do it, learn the skill, and then come out with our own and just be like, oh no, I learned this from off of YouTube. Right. I didn't know, because I was making wigs and you've been around me all month making wigs. So I didn't know that you was looking at pointers on how to make your wig. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, can we go into business together, sis? I may not know how to do that, but I can do the business, the paperwork of it. Right. It's like we don't know how to treat each other, love each other as Black women. And then we think that Black men have copied that. No, they didn't. When I go to basketball games and when I go to football games and when I teach young Black men, I don't even deal with the girls. I teach young Black men. They are so much easier to deal with. I watch these young men try to love these young ladies, and I watch them sleeping with everybody around. Oh, he don't got no money. Oh, he don't got... It's all about what women are being brainwashed. Like if you remember, I'm 44, so back in the 80s and 90s, and I remember even before, because I remember when I used to watch like Superfly and Dolomite and a couple of other Black exploitation movies. They was ruining the Black man image then. They was causing division between us then. Because if you remember, right before then, we had unity. Our communities were still growing, and then right went along where you could say where King died, X died. When the King got killed, X got killed. I'm talking about Malcolm X, y'all. I don't want nobody to think I'm talking about DMX. But when Malcolm X got killed and our community was truly hurting, they started throwing all these Black negative stereotypes out and all this stuff. I see that same thing happening now with Black women. I feel like it's no coincidence that we had Glorilla being featured on Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. It was no coincidence that we had Megan Thee Stallion twerking her ass around and destroying the image of the Black woman. I felt like that was no coincidence. And I felt like there's even now a division with Black men and Black women. And that's why it's important for us to have these continued conversations, I think the division comes from lack of understanding between both sides. It's just a heavy misunderstanding. When they came out with the White Women's Rights Act, and I'm not a racist or anything, so I just want to say that up front. Right. I do recognize that Black women participating in everybody cause has caused us to lose everything. Right. And when we participated in that White Women's Rights Act, we weren't going through the same things. Our men didn't mind us going to college, getting some education, and just taking care of us. They didn't mind. Like, we didn't have a lot of that stuff going on in our culture. It was going on with them because now they're being treated like the same slaves that once existed. Now you're being expected to actually be a mom now. Nobody's taking care of that baby for you. Now you're being expected to actually carry out your wifely duties. And it's hard because you got to sit back and relax the whole time while we're doing majority of the work. But white men is seeing Black men have these super amazing women that are doctors, that's standing up, that's fighting for freedom. Like, hold up now. What's going on here? So that jealousy of white women and white men being jealous of how we came together. And even after slavery, it's like, hold up, they don't even got nothing.
Right.
They sticking
They
together.
still
They don't
sticking
even
together.
have what we have, and they showing up together, and it ain't no show. You know, when we joined that, that's when we gave our black man up. Because that independent woman thing was the worst thing we could have ever did. It's not one, I don't care what no woman say. Nobody wants to be an independent woman and take this world on by ourselves. I don't want to be at the door with a gun because somebody just broke in my house. I'm glad there's a man that's willing to go downstairs and handle that battle. I'm glad there's a man that want to go outside every day and work for this family in here that loves him. I'm glad that even when we're not thinking about the family as a whole, it's somebody that's thinking about that, man.
Right.
And I hate that black men don't get no acknowledgement for all that they had to withstand and still love us through it. Even when with the election, I kept hearing black women say, "Oh, black men ain't going to vote for black men ain't," and to see the results,
80% of
I
black
didn't even
men.
see nobody get online and say, "You know what, ladies." I did. I got a whole video,
Right.
but ain't nobody say, "You know what, ladies, we gotta stop doing this to black men." They really was supporting us.
80% of black men came out there and supported. Even when I seen that when the brick lady, do you remember the brick girl? The girl that said she got hit in the face with a brick. She was something, a man went and tried to get her number. She told him no. And she got hit in the face with a brick. And she got on a whole I hate black man campaign. And kind of find out she was lying. She had like an allergic reaction or something like that. I gotta show it to you. Yeah, she had an allergic reaction. They did not hold her feet to the fire. She got, I think she got like 40,000 in donations because people just wanted to donate to the GoFundMe. That alone should have took her ass to jail, but yet she didn't. And it's only because she went against us. It's only once because we are the most hated. So, and I have seen, look, I did a podcast a few months before it was, but I used to show like kind of highlight these things. Like I seen it was like a barbecue and a kid's birthday party. And then they showed like these kids, the mascots rubbing themselves all over these children. And it was little black boys. It was like they was backing it up all on these children. And I was like, man, you know, it only flies because this is a black boy. But this is molestation we're watching. This is molestation. This is harmful. And when these kids grow up and be demons and they grow up to be sexual deviants, we're going to sit around there and throw our hands up, act like we don't know where it come from. But these black boys are being poisoned. And it's by design, but I also see that same thing is happening with our black women right now. And that's why it's important for us to have good, hard dialogue and conversations. I can't stress that enough. You cannot have a community without having communication. You can't.
I agree. I do, as a teacher, I do see the effects that America has on our children. And I say it more than anybody because I see it being done so young to our black men. They're over sexualized and they don't mind.
Overly stimulated. So overly stimulated.
They don't mind showing them things or preparing them for sex, but not really explaining that it's a sacral act.
Right.
You know, like even now, right, I pay attention to like what's going on in the world. And I try to tell people like, y'all want to know why people seem like they can't be in relationships? Because we're God's body, we're God's temple, we're our temple, and we're not going to God first. How are you not going to God and asking God, can you have this temple before you actually put yourself inside of it?
Blessing your food, huh?
Blessing your food. And you want, like, we just wondering why it just seems like it's so much chaos, why we add each other. Okay. Because you need God in the midst of your relationship. We all been through our own things that may cause demons or angels to come out. However, but if you don't have nothing that is keeping it whole, that's actually making it one, God is the glue. So if there's no God in the relationship, if we're not even practicing spirituality, it's really hard for us to keep being together because God is the glue. Without God, it is really nothing. It's two people that want to be together. And in the spiritual realm with God in it, we can fight each other's demons. But it with just us as our human nature trying to learn to coexist, once you enter me, you take everything that comes with me and I take everything that comes with you. And however those demons start recreating different stuff in me to start attacking you because there's no God in it. Are we praying together? People don't, I don't even see people pray together, man, even during dinner. You go out in a restaurant, see how many people hold their wife hands or a wife hold her husband hands, and we pray over this food together. We teach this into our kid at the table. Ain't no more family meals. I don't see people sitting together anymore.
That's a fact.
So the things that actually create unity, togetherness, that love, our old heads wasn't playing that. If you came to my grandfather's step to come get my mother and you thought you was about to just come there and just be like, yeah, I want to see your daughter, you sadly mistaken.
Right.
Where y'all going?
Right.
What time you gonna have her back? Is nobody who doing that?
That's a fact.
Nobody cares enough about your safety
Right.
to secure you.
Right.
There's nobody securing your safety. So yes, I can just penetrate your daughter whenever I want to. I can just do what I want. And then you brought up a really good point. We're being molested and stuff inside our homes. We're being touched, raped, and everything inside of our homes because nobody's teaching. They think we're too young to learn about sex, but we need to learn.
No, for sure.
Because it's so early. It's happening so early to our kids.
Either you want to teach them what TikTok is or Instagram or one of these other little platforms. With that being said, let everybody know where they can find you at.
Hey, you can find me on Instagram at I am Thicky Yum Yum. You can find me on TikTok as well at I am Thicky Yum Yum. Facebook, Monica.
Cool. With that being said, I thank you for your time, your effort, your energy, your vulnerability, your transparency, all them adjectives. I just appreciate everything that you have been able to give this platform. With that being said, this is Zachary King, and this is the Future is Female podcast. I'm gone.